with the new X-Men line, Marvel might be going its most woke ever. It's been pretty much a disaster all the way around, from Eve Ewing's Exceptional X-Men, which is like this kitty pride lesbian romance comic, to Dazzler, which is like some weird LGBTQ pride sparkly thing, to now NYX from Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, like some of the most hated writers in the entire business, who have this like X book of Ms. Marvel and X-23, who they've rebranded as Wolverine, and then this Sophie Kaku, who's part of this old Grant Morrison deal, being strong whammons out there. And it's interesting. I've noticed a propensity in woke writing to have characters keep talking about how awkward they feel. Awkward. Oh, it's awkward. It's awkward. And it's the writer's own social ineptness coming through. It starts right away. And this is just so cringy. Even this image by itself is just cringy. And they take a megaphone to basically harass a bunch of protesters because the protesters are Trump supporters. I mean, human supporters against the mutants. And that's what all this is about. So this NYX number 5 came out. Oh gosh, it's so cringy, guys. I'll see if I can even get through this video. Hit the like and subscribe button. I read this so you don't have to. Thank you guys for being here and supporting all of our work here and our journalism work that we do on Fandom Pulse, the most trusted name in comics news. I'm a comics creator myself, and the mainstream industry does not like my commentary. They got me banned from Kickstarter for mass reporting me, saying I'm a terrible person because I actually call out their bad content. And I am making my own comic on Fund My Comic, which is a free speech platform you can support right here. It'd be great. I'd really appreciate you doing so. It's a science fiction epic action adventure. This is what comics should be. By the way, the Kamala Khan one, there's no action in it. It's crazy. It's a superhero comic with nothing. And as a team book, I wrote one here with the Emerald Array. It's a full male Space Marine team. No females whatsoever. We're doing the opposite of what the industry is doing. And I'm actually bringing the art style back with this like awesome 70s Jack Kirby vibe. You're going to love this. If you like classic Marvel, if you like the classic comics, this is going to be for you. It's 66 pages of just intensity. So check it out. It's in the description below. You're going to love this if you love old Marvel. We're 3 backers away from 300, guys. Get us there today. Thank you guys for all the support so far. All right, so Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly are back. Now, I've covered them before because I'm a big Star Trek fan, and that's why I write science fiction. And they unfortunately have been put on Heather Antos's Star Trek line as the primary writers. Naturally, they turned a Vulcan into a they-them and have that Vulcan lecture one of the crew about pronouns. It's insane. And of course, very illogical because like a Vulcan is either a man or a woman, and the character looks like a man. He's got the shaved head to try to pretend not to be. So he either has one of 2 body parts that Vulcans have in order to reproduce, and he would be a man or a woman. He's not a they-them. Sorry, Jackson Lansing. It's illogical to say otherwise. And that's the thing. These people want you to accept their weird mental illnesses, their weird sexual fetishes, as like logic, fact, science, etc. It's like so ass backwards. And that's what's going on here with the mutants as well. Now the mutants are an allegory for gays and transgenders. And that's exactly what's going on here. And they think that the gays and transgenders are going to get all their rights stomped upon by Donald Trump. And that's what this entire comic is about. It even starts out, it's like a 2-page synopsis where they info dump to you and tell you, don't show you. They throw around words like Krakoan National and deportation and mutant exclusion zone as they see every detail except the way they've been set up. All that conversation about community, ashes. And he tries to make this like deep thing by saying ashes over and over again. And it's like, oof, painful. And so it's really cringy to start. There's like this city council. They're going to talk about like deporting mutants and moving them to a mutant-only zone or whatever. And they're worried that everybody's going to actually vote for it. But they've been brainwashed is really what it's come down to. It's a commentary on the fake news, of course, misinformation, right? And they even get into it as the humans go there just to make sure that you know that it's an allegory for Trump, humanity first instead of America first. They tell him to go home. Oh my gosh, it's so cringy. Now, Kamala Khan does not allow democracy to just take place. She has to run out there and yell at them and lecture people because this is what they feel they have to do. The Jackson Lansings, and Colin Kellys of the world wants to lecture everybody about their politics. You better agree with them, you bigot, or you're a bigot. And of course, they don't actually like democracy or want people to actually vote or make up their own minds. You're supposed to just be a good hive mind person who does what the corporation tells you to do in your Marvel comics, everybody. So naturally, these superheroes are out there, and instead of like fighting, against monsters trying to kill people, there's we got Venezuelan gang members who have been imported into this country. Why don't you deal with them? I'm sure there's some superhuman Venezuelan gang members out there, or some fentanyl dealers out there, actually trying to save people and stuff like that. They're running into protests of a peaceful protest and riling people up into violence by harassing them. And this is what the heroes do. I mean, these people, if you actually logically think about this and break these things down, it's like, wow, you sit there and lecture us hard with this like replacement Ms. Marvel, whose name is Kamala, like Kamala Harris, and then what's interesting as he goes through, she pulls up her bullhorn in front of these people, and she lectures everybody. And she admits she's a bad superhero, right? You might know me from getting my butt whooped on TV. Okay, cool. You're a bad superhero. Get better. Why don't you learn how to fight the villains instead of like lecturing people on how to vote? Or maybe because I did some good in your life. So she's lecturing, I did good for you. And again, like, this doesn't translate to LGBT whatever, because the LGBT whatever, they just do whatever for themselves. It's all about hedonism, right? That lifestyle is about feeling good, man. I'm going to do it in the road, right? I'm going to do it with whoever or whatever I want, right? No consequences. I'm going to cut off my genitals because it feels good, man. It makes me who I am. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It's all narcissism, right? And Kamala Khan shows she's a narcissist right here. You might know her because the good she did in your life, bigots. Like, what if she didn't do good in their lives? What if these people were just in class, like, randomly, and she's never interacted with them? What is she talking about? Again, narcissism. And the celebrities are shown as narcissists, and this shows the writers are narcissists, right? And yes, I'm also a mutant, but these two things, they're not connected. I choose to be a superhero because I put my life on the line, do my best to save you and everyone every day. Oh, but being a mutant, that's beyond my control, or any of our control. It's not a choice, it's who we are. So you see how they conflate two things. There's the Muslim guy here, who's like, I guess they don't even really mention he's Muslim. I get he's got the hat on, but he's brown, right? And so he's not choosing to be brown. But the people who do LGBTQ stuff and go out into these pride parades are making a choice and making an action. And that's the superhero, I guess. So I'm very confused as to what the messaging is. It doesn't make sense. When you logically break it down, there is no logic here. Because they are talking about lifestyles. They're talking about actions. They are talking about people doing things and of course, converting children into these lifestyles, which is the real agenda, the groomer stuff. They're trying to sexualize these people. And they conflate it with brown skin, right? And they do this very, very intentionally. This has been the agenda the entire time. Now, the Muslim guy here is not going to be for the LGBTQ agenda. That's the silly part. He's going to hate it way worse than anybody on the Trump side would. But they've duped some people into this with weird emotional compassion, like speeches like this, trying to brainwash people. And that's exactly what they're doing. So I almost said Kamala Harris. Kamala Khan brainwashed all these people with some nonsensical speech. And that's it. And then she makes everybody go home, and they all listen to her. And then suddenly they vote differently, and they don't vote for the law. So this was like their wish fulfillment, where they were hoping Kamala Harris could lecture you and make you feel like a bad person if you don't vote for her. It's going to be pretty awkward, and then change the actual vote of what's going on. Really funny. It came out the week after the election. Clearly, they had to write it a couple months in advance, at least, to get the art done on it. And it didn't turn out the way they wanted. Everybody voted against this because they hate being lectured to. This is not heroic. This is why these superheroes are failing at this point, because they're not being heroic. They're not even doing anything that is their job. They're just trying to act like the whiny Hollywood entitled narcissistic celebrities and lecture you, telling you you're a bad person for believing differently than them. It's not diverse. It's not inclusive. It's quite the opposite. And the mask is totally off in this issue. This is what Marvel Comics stands for at this point. They hate you. They want you dead. And I don't know. Are you buying this? I don't know anybody who's reading this book. I don't think it's a success at all, but they keep doubling down on it because the agenda is more important than producing good comics. It's really, really sad. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out my book. There's no agenda here, just a lot of great fun. Spacemen versus bug monsters. This is what classic comics were, and this is what we're going to deliver to you. Check it out. Get us to 300 backers today. Support our channel and support our efforts here as we are fighting against the mainstream, and they are scared of us because if you discover how good these books are, they are never going to get you back as customers, and they know it. That's why they're trying to shut us down at every level. Grab it in the description below. Thank you guys so much for being there.